everyone. Welcome back to Cardvoyant. I'm Kris and I'm your Cardvoyant, and it has been a while. So, before I say anything about the last 2.5 years, I want to say to people who maybe have never come to the channel before, if you just want to see the reading, you can go to this time. If you want a little intro to the reading and then see the reading, you can go to this time. So, thank you all for being here. If you have stayed subscribed to this channel for over 2 years without me posting anything, I mean, thank you. God bless you. I mean, that's so nice of you. Maybe you just forgot, and that's awesome too. So, the past couple of years, I've been fine. I haven't been sick. I haven't gotten COVID. It just became really difficult for me. I was caring for my mom during that time, during the whole pandemic time. Actually, for the past almost 5 years. About 18 months ago, my sister Pam moved in with my mom, and we shared the space actually for about a year. And then just a few months ago, I got my own space. So, as many of you know, if you subscribe to my sister Kim's channel, and if you don't, you should. She's great. Her channel is really interesting and fantastic. But our mother passed away earlier this month. It's been difficult, but we do feel like obviously she's in a better place and she's no longer in pain, and she's reunited with our father. So that's a very good thing. Now, this reading I actually did a few weeks before my mom passed. And as often happens with the universe, when you're sort of not meant to do something, sometimes obstacles come up. And I had the weirdest, strange time trying to get the video posted. So I just decided, I'm just going to wait. I did sort of know that things were changing, something was happening. I'll talk about that a little bit more in sort of the intro to the video. But I now feel like it's time to try again, because if you're watching this, it worked, but to post the videos. So hopefully it all works out, and hopefully it's interesting to you. So also I want to say throughout this time, I've continued to do readings. So all of you that have had readings from me, I really appreciate it. I'm continuing right now. I have like this backlog. I've put things obviously on pause for a few weeks, but I hope to actually be caught up this weekend with reading. So if you're waiting for your reading from me, it's coming. I promise it's coming. So this reading. So at the end of July, I was seeing just repeating numbers just like all the time. Like I kind of get this. It's one of the things that I get. And I've, wondered about it, done a little bit of research, but I was getting them all the time. And one day I got numbers that, I saw like 111 or 11, 11, like repeatedly. Then it was 222 or 2222, like not just in time, but like in odd places, like a receipt and, things like that. And then it was 333, 444, and 555. And I knew something was happening. I thought it might have to do with my mom, and it did, but it also had to do with me, because the day that I got that night, I got horribly sick. I ended up in the hospital for 3 days. I'm fine. Yay, modern medicine. But it was scary, and it was also life-changing, because while I was in the hospital, I had a chance to, as we often do, these milestone moments. And Kim and I actually did a video about like exit points and these milestone moments. This wasn't quite that strong, but it was similar. And I just reevaluated my life and what I was doing, what I was spending my time doing, and what I wanted to do in the future. So that was changing, very changing for me. When I got out of the hospital, it wasn't but a few days later that my mom was in the emergency room. She came out, then she went back. And then when she came out again, she entered hospice and she actually passed away, um, oh gosh, 3 or 4 days after being in hospice. She was home. All of the sisters, I have 4 sisters, there's 5 of us, and we were with her when she passed. So it was, as we were with my father, it was very kind of similar scene. So we had that opportunity, and it was a great blessing, of course. But the numbers, I wondered about them so much, and I knew I had feelings about what I thought numbers were, why we get them. And during the time after my mom passed, in preparation for the funeral, of course, we had a lot of people coming into town, relatives and friends. And I mentioned it to several people, and they all, I mean, every single one without exception, told me about their own experiences with repeating numbers and asked me about, like, what does it mean? I'm like, I don't know. Like I said, I had ideas, but it's one of those things I just sort of dabbled with the idea. Then I also had a couple people in readings ask me about repeating numbers in their own lives, and they got answers. But I wanted to do this video to talk about repeating numbers in general and maybe get a few answers about them. And I feel like I did. You'll see in the reading. I haven't even gone back to listen to the reading because one of those watching yourself on camera things. But hopefully it's helpful to you. It's very general, um, but we can delve into it deeper. If people are interested, please let me know in the comments. I'm very happy and interested in doing readings on individual numbers. Like I said, this is sort of a broad overview. And so I can do more videos on that and ask about that. And I feel like we'll get answers. I mean, to me, the whole number situation and the whole repeating number situation, and I am not like a numbers person. I'm not a mathematician, or even I don't even know that much about math, other than the basics. So the idea of like sort of sacred geometry and all of these things, they make a lot of sense to me, but I don't claim to know everything. But I will say this. The world, the physical world, and I believe the spiritual world is built on these very sort of mathematical concepts. And so it makes sense to me that the non-physical world would try to speak to us on those terms. It is, as so many things are, up to us to kind of decode them. And you think, like, well, why do they tell them in code? Well, they're not like specifically trying to code information. It's that this is help on a spiritual level, and they very much are with us. Our guides, people in the spirit world who have passed on, and they want to help us, and yet they will not interfere, like change our physical lives. These are our lives to live. So it's kind of that fine line that they have to tread. They'll very much answer your questions. They'll be with you. They'll seek to guide you. If nothing else, and this is not if nothing else, this is a big thing. They will, and they are there to comfort us, to bolster us, to sort of share our difficulties, our sorrows, our triumphs, our pains. This is another aspect of that. There are many ways that they do this. Again, my sisters and I did a video that you can see I think it's on this channel still. It's been a while. That's about signs. But numbers are slightly different in that I feel like they're offering us guidance. We just need to delve into it deeper, which hopefully this reading is a start, but they're also very personal. So even though I'm giving you an overview, I think that they can mean very specific things at various times in our lives. So, with all that said, um, this video is, as I said, an overview of numbers, what many people call angel numbers. And in preparation for this, doing the actual reading, I asked about that because I don't know why it's not a term that I'm like comfortable with. And they gave me the term energy numbers. So I'm going to kind of leave it at that. These are energy numbers, but you call them what you want, whatever you like. That's, the least important thing. So here's this overview of energy numbers. Please let me know in the comments if you would like to learn more, delve deeper, go into individual numbers, ones, twos, threes. Also, anything else you'd like to see on this channel, I would really like to get it up and going consistently, but it's up to you. What would you like to see from me? Are there things that you'd like to see from me? And I will go with that and try to be much more vigilant because I'm much more able to post videos more frequently. So thank you again for watching, and here's the reading. Okay, so as you can see, I felt, and for those of you who don't know, I just get a feeling for how many cards to put down and also the spread or the shape of the cards. I'm using my regular sort of standard Rider-Waite tarot deck because I know many of you are like tarot learners, and this is really the deck on which most other cards are, not all, but most are based. So you can sort of get a feeling for what your cards mean if they're not exactly like this. So let's see what we have here. This top card, oh, of course, it's the Ace of Pentacles, the Five of Cups, the Six of Cups, I'm sorry, the Four of Cups, and the Ten of Swords. How interesting. Let's see what these have to say. Okay, and I will say too, this is how I read. Even when I read for people for many years, I talk like this and explain the cards only because it helps me. Well, I mean, you can learn from it, but it also helps me to sort of start talking about it, and that's when I start to receive messages like what it's about. So this Ace of Pentacles. Now, Ace cards are in general always gift cards, and they all look like this in all four suits of tarot. The gift, the hand in a cloud bearing a gift that is the emblem or symbol of this particular suit of cards, in this case, pentacles. Now, pentacles are about very earthly things, often about money. They look like a coin, but about property, about, all these very physical things, consumer goods, right? But in the broader sense, and that's what we're talking about here, because this is a broad reading for many people. In the broader sense, they're about earth life, physical things. Earth life is the physical. When we speak of the physical, earth life is the physical. And it's also a gift. And that's what this card is talking about, this gift of earth life, right? All things physical. And it's talking about, they're inviting us to understand this gift that is part of earth life, because the thing about earth life is we have the ability, we have the opportunity. They want us so badly to connect with the non-physical world, with our soul selves, with our guides, our higher selves, you might call it, with our guides, with master guides, with the all that is, the source or the God source, however you want to think of that God, if you want to think of it that way. It's there and available to us if we will sort of welcome it and understand it and be thankful for it. Now, what we're talking about in this reading is energy numbers, or what many people call angel numbers. And the first message that they give to us is that this is a gift to us. Like, please understand, this is a gift to us. And what they know, this is the top card, so it sort of is an umbrella over the rest of the cards. It rains down on the rest of the cards. This Ace of Pentacles touches, influences, is a part of each of these other cards, and sort of the top explanation. So knowing that this is a gift to us, these angel numbers, they want us to understand that they understand Earth life. And here we have Earth life, right? Now cups are about emotions, right? They're the love cards. We think of cups as, the loving cup, our cup runs over with love, all of those things. But they are about emotions, and emotions are the things that connect us to Earth life, connect us to our physical selves, but also because they're so powerful in the physical world, they influence, connect us to, and we receive blessings from the spiritual or the non-physical world because of our emotions. But look at this 5. Now, 5 in every suit of cards are difficult cards. They're the challenging cards, right, obviously in the middle of every suit of the tarot cards. Here we have the cups, challenging 5 card. You can see the figure cloaked in black, cloaked in grief, cloaked in difficult emotions, standing here looking at these overturned cups, right? And they're spilling out their contents. They're lost. The contents of these cups are lost. In the background is this river. Now, water in tarot always talks about the physical. The non-physical. And you can see that this river runs right through this card. A river runs through it, one might say. But, this is talking about all things sort of non-physical, psychic things, our connection to the non-physical world. And it runs right through and nearby this figure. And you can see that this bridge here, it connects both sides of the physical, the land that the figure's standing on. And look, this beautiful horizon here, this beautiful other place that he can go to that is home and nature and beauty and peace, right? Emotions again. What this card invites you to do is to turn away from all that's lost. And let's face it, we have all lost a lot in this pandemic, a lot. And to be honest, there's more to come. This is just a difficult transitional time. But overall, this is the story of life, right? We gain things, we lose things, we gain, people in our lives. We have people in our lives, and we often lose them. But it can be, smaller things too. We grieve over many things. We have pain over many things. We're confused over many things. We ask for guidance about many things. But it can be difficult, right? We have, somebody gets mad at us at work, or we have a rift with a relative, or, in the bigger thing, we lose someone, and it feels like these cups being overturned, our emotions, our hearts being spilled onto the landscape. But what our guides want us to know is that if we will turn around, if this figure would turn around, he would see that we're never left without completely. We're never completely lost and on our own. And there's always, always, always another way, another thing, another chance. And that's what these cups represent. They're full. They're full of possibility. They're full of love. And what they're talking about with angel numbers is this is what they are. With these energy numbers, they're giving us, they're providing us with hope, with direction, with understanding, with a feeling they hope to evoke of us not being alone. If that's all that we can gain from seeing repeating numbers, that's something. And in some ways, that's enough. We are not alone. Somebody's with us. And that's what some of these numbers mean. When you see ones and twos, they're telling me especially, they say, look at how twos are. If you put twos facing each other, how they're heart shaped. They want to say twos, especially, are just about love and loving connection. If we see that and feel that, it's important to, and helpful, I should say, to acknowledge that. Say thank you. Say I get it. Say, express your gratitude in some ways. Because when you do, it happens more often. Look at this next card, right? This Four of Cups, because here you have this gift. See how it's right below the Ace of Pentacles? It's the same hand. It's the same gift hand. And this time it's offering this loving cup, this emotional support that we get from these numbers, from seeing something as simple as repeating numbers. They use it, they say, because numbers are in our lives in many, many different ways. So it's like a tool they have in their toolbox of connection that is so readily available. Like I said, maybe it's receipts, maybe it's time, very often time, maybe it's a road sign, maybe it's numbers in a book, maybe it's, a telephone number that somebody gives you, and the last four numbers are all ones, or more or different numbers. They say it's a tool that's readily available, and they offer it to you to acknowledge that they are with you. Now, can the numbers mean more than that, the individual numbers, and in your individual circumstances? Absolutely. And we can absolutely go into that. This is a very general kind of message. The Four of Cups. Do you see how this cup, this loving offering, is being given to this young man sitting under the tree? And yet he's focused on these three cups, maybe that he wants, maybe that he's had, maybe they're these three cups that are about to spill over in the five, right? He's focused on that, and he's not even seeing the gift that's being given him. Now, recognize also that there are three of these cups, and he's being offered one cup. So what they're saying is, when you have this grief or this pain, or you're ready for this transition, or they're talking about a transition that is about to come into your life, sort of whether you want it or not. Although I have to say, these numbers are very positive, right? They aren't warning numbers. They're very positive. They're very supportive. So he's sort of fixated on these three cups that are about to be lost. I mean, the sequence here goes from 4 to 5. If we're looking at the cards generally, here they're giving us an understanding by going from 5 to 4, right? It's just a way of them expressing what these energy numbers mean. And he's being offered this gift, and this happens in our life. This is how it happens. We have a tough time. We have a question. We need support. We're going through something, and they offer us. They're saying these energy numbers are an offering to us, a gift, literally, to us of support, of connection, of a greater understanding, or a once again understanding, or let's make this perfectly clear understanding that the non-physical world is part of the physical world. It's not like they go away and come back. They're always here, and that's because they're beings of light. They're not physical, but the whole non-physical world surrounds us and is with us always. We call on them for specific things. They see our pain. which is what this next card is going to talk about. They see it, right? They understand it, and they are here to help us, to guide us, to support us as much as they can. Now, these are our lives to live, and we wanted to live them. We wanted this chance to explore, to grow, right? So there are many things that they're not going to interfere with because we grow from them, we learn from them. We wanted them, right? But they will help us along the way. They will support us along the way in anything that we're going through, which is this card. And I know, I mean, the Ten of Swords, you get it, and it's like, oh my gosh, because here's this figure, and he's got 10 swords in his back. I mean, it's not a pretty picture, right? Yeah. But now, swords, I will say just very briefly, I mean, they're very much about mental things. They're about our physical brain, right? The way we process things, the information that comes to us that we have to deal with, the things that happen in our lives in that sense, that we are, as physical beings, using, all this information to interpret with our physical minds. And so, yes, so often, and in many circumstances, big and small, we feel this way, right? Man, we all kind of feel this way after this pandemic, right? And it's not just the pandemic. There's so many things going on in the world with climate change, with political upheaval, with new diseases coming out, with variants that we're dealing with, not to mention losses in our lives, having to face this sort of emotional thing with ourselves, our children, our parents, our families, that has grown during the pandemic, right? I mean, we all feel this way, and for some of us, it's compounded, right? There's been so much, right? I said I haven't had COVID, and I haven't had a lot of other things that have gone along with the pandemic to deal with. But I do have children and family members who who have had COVID and faced different things. I mean, jobs affected, and financial situations affected from COVID, as you have all had as well. Different degrees, different things, but man, we've all had these 10 of swords moments, and we have them in our lives. I mean, I'm talking about the pandemic, but had it never happened, or think of like the before times before it happened, everybody has these 10 of swords moments in their lives. Here's what they're trying to express by giving us this card. Again, the water, right? And do you see how the figure, who's not dead, he's down, right? He's down, but he has to take a breather. He has to process this. He's facing the water. He's facing this non-physical psychic connection and the spiritual world, in a sense. And that what they're saying, and wait, before I say what they're saying, look beyond the water. Do you see these mountains? Mountains in tarot, to me, they talk about higher heights. They don't. I'm just going to say don't necessarily, but I'm going to say they don't. They don't talk about, this hardship of scaling the mountain. They talk about rising to a higher place. And this is what we do when we get through trauma, grief, pain, unexpected circumstances, difficulties. We rise to a higher place. That's how we learn and grow. Beyond the mountains is this amazing sunrise. Yes, the black clouds are here, and the dark, right? The night. But they're going to all be pushed away by the sunrise. And that's what they're saying. And that's what these energy numbers offer to us. The promise of a new day, the promise of more light coming into our lives. And they're especially prevalent when you're going through something difficult, when you are experiencing pain, this pain of emotions, right? They want me to say also, do you see how these swords mimic ones? One is probably the most common number to get in an energy number. And they want you to know that they are, in giving you ones, recognizing the pain that you're going through by giving you ones that symbolically sort of look like these swords. Think of that when you see ones. Also expressing the hope. What do we talk about when we're talking about ones? It's a new beginning. It's a new day. A one does that for us. And that's what they're giving us. The hope of a new day, the knowledge of their support and love, and the understanding that they have how difficult Earth life can be, how powerful our emotions are, our pain, our grief, our confusion, our need for love. They get that. Many of their guides, most of your guides, almost all of your guides. I'm sorry, I'm stopping because they're stopping me, and they're saying all of your guides understand physicality. They've all been through it. They understand this. This is why. I mean, why do you think they offer us to us? Because they get it, because we need it. Our greatest gift to them is to acknowledge it and hopefully use it, right? That's why we get them. That's why they're here. They do this in many other ways. But again, this is a good and sort of easy way for them to do it, and a ubiquitous way, right? We see numbers all the time. So that's why they use numbers. That's what they mean, very basically. Please remember, they say the things that they said about twos and ones, just the ways they look. So back to my face again. I do want to emphasize that these numbers are a real gift. They're a real communication tool, and they can be important if we'll pay attention to them. And that's kind of key with any sign that you receive, is acknowledging it. So if you see these numbers, even if you're just like, I don't know what they mean, but I see them, it's important to acknowledge them. Say thank you. Ask about them if you're curious. Meditate on them. But if nothing else, just say thank you, because then your guides, your family members who have passed on, or friends, or whoever in the spiritual world is helping you, they know that you've gotten it. They understand that they've made this communication connection, and you'll receive more. You can ask for other signs. Anything that you need, they will try to supply. So there you have it today. I hope that this reading was helpful to you, meaningful to you. I hope that you'll come back again for other readings and leave suggestions for what you would like to see in the future, whether it's numbers or anything else. As I said, I hope to be able to post more and more videos, sort of get back in the swing of things where I was a few years ago. So until then, I will just say thanks again. Please be kind to yourself. Please be kind to others. And until next time, bye for now.